Hi guys, welcome back to Spartan Green Ranger Reviews. I'm your host, Spartan Green Ranger, and today we are talking Megazords, more specifically the Dino Fury Megazords. I've got all three boxes, so that gives us all 5 Zords to talk about. That being said, we need something to compare it to, right? So that's why I went and got this. That's right, we've got Kishiryu 5 Nights from RyuSoulger, released by Bandai of Japan. So, we've got a few things we're going to talk about. 1 is price point, 2 is figure design, and 3 are features. There's a lot to go over, so let's not waste any time. This is Spartan Green Ranger Reviews. Link to Morphin Grid. So, right out the gate, there's some big noticeable differences, and that's packaging. If you go buy the Hasbro version of the Megazord at a big box retailer, you're going to get them individually. That's why we have individual numbered boxes of 1, 2, and 3. You can get a bundled box set that has all the Zords, but the only place I've been able to find that is Amazon. So if you're instant gratification, you're going to have to wait a couple days to get them all at one, or get lucky and find a big box retailer that hasn't sold out on individual boxes. If you buy them individually, you're going to pay about $80 after taxes. Amazon, I think, has them right now for $72.99 was the last time I looked. Comparatively, you can get Kishiryu only on Japanese sites or Amazon. I got a steal on mine because I got mine on sale right when RyuSoulger was getting ready to go off air. So I was able to get the 5-night box set for $62. I think now they're comparatively between $92 and $98. And that is a big tax hike because you're getting an imported toy. There are other ways to get it a little bit cheaper, but sometimes shipping is just going to bring that price right back up. So on price point for value, you're going to get a win in the Dino Fury column. Here's our American counterparts, the Zordlink System. Of course, we have our Zords to where you can see them. There is no plastic in here because Hasbro has recently switched over to plastic-free packaging. And the boxes are really nice. They present well too. They aren't as smooth or slick as the Japanese boxes. Now, I will say the cardboard is a lot thinner. Like, you can get a little ding in the Japanese ones and be okay, but if these get dinged, they puncture. Like, this was the best out of all the ones I found, and that was still there. But you get a nice product shot. Now, although we don't get Morphing Ranger keys, we did get a cool feature that Japan did not get that I know of for a fact, and we'll look at that more in the in-depth review, that our auxiliary Zords to make the Megazord also have their own personal mini Zord combinations, which are cool for play and functionality. So that's pretty cool. And they do show on the back packaging as well how to connect and make all the other Zords combined to make the Megazord. Here we go, guys, on a upfront view of the packaging from the 5 Nights box set. You get beautiful pictures of the toys and how they work. Nice, clean box. It does have a little damage here. Couldn't be avoided. Some promo shots. Now, I do know for a fact one thing that we have different in America that they had in Japan is our keys do not open and close compared to the Japanese keys. And here's the back side of the box. Gives us all the Megazord combinations that you can make with the 5-night box set. Some details here on how you use the connection points to make all the different Megazord modes and how they work, and individual details on each Zord here in Japanese, the names of the Zords, and you of course get every single Ranger key for each Ranger in this box set. And of course it says you get Ryusouls 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All in all, this is a beautiful box. Alright guys, here we have American on the right, Japanese on the left, and I have to say, taking both of the packaging and building them, they were both quite nice. As you can tell, the Japanese is quite larger by a significant margin, and there are some nice soft plastic parts on the American one compared to the Japanese where it is all hard plastic. So like you can see right here, if I take and move this to the front, I can bend that, and as a parent giving that to a kid, that is great. However, this going to a kid, not so much. Now my eye is instantly drawn to the Japanese release. The plastic is really nice and clean. Both have really good paint jobs. The only qualm I have is my Triceratops on the American one. We have some paint that went up on the eye, but it's a mass-produced toy. You're going to have paint imperfections. But they both look really good sitting side by side. Okay guys, here we have the Japanese and American T-Rex Megazords. Both the Zords make the core to each Megazord. The American one has more articulation, and you'll see that in Megazord mode. I do personally love the Japanese one's size and paint scheme, but as a parent who, if I was going to be buying these for a kid, the American one has softer plastic and is probably going to hold up, except for one negative thing. The connection joints for putting all the pieces on seem like very tight, and they're not solid, so those could be a breaking issue. So for that right now, I'm giving it to the Japanese Megazord. Here we have them in Megazord mode. As you can tell, I haven't put the heads in because I want to show those off separately. Paint wise, they both look really good. There's a little bit more paint on the Japanese. That's always the thing with Japanese compared to American. That being said, there's far more articulation you have, and these are really nice connection joints. You have hand movement, even though it's really tight. You have upper arm and elbow. And this also has an extension feature where those legs go up and down. And the feet are on ball joints on the American, where they are not on the Japanese. Now let's talk about the Ranger keys for the helmets. The American version, this is all you get, but you do get a nice swivel ball joint. And one cool little feature in the back is if you open it up right here like this, you not only see the knight, but also inside you get to see a Ranger making a pose. So that's really cool. Now it goes right in and slots down in. It's a nice tight connection, and it looks good. And then with the Japanese one, it's a Japanese Ranger key, so it does work in the morpher, and it's got the morph gimmick, so you press it and it flips open. Nice looking Ranger key, and beautiful painting on the entire Ranger key. Now you don't get any head movement, but you do get this nice satisfying click to let you know it's locked in there. In terms of the new Saber-Tooth Tiger Megazord, on the American version there's far more articulation, like in the arms. The head has articulation, and the sword is longer. That being said though, you can with the soft plastic get warping, like my tail that's used for the Megazord combination is warped really bad. But both still great toys. Other than the size, these two are exactly the same, like almost down to paint and everything. It's just sizing on this one. With the new blue Tricerazord on the American compared to the Japanese one, you can see that there is also some more severe warping on the blade and 4 size issues. That's really it for the differences. Alright, with the exception of soft plastic and sizing, these two are almost identical. They have the same markings everywhere. They both attach the same. There is a lack of paint for the spikes, if anything, but both still do exactly the same, and both are great looking toys. And here we are, guys, to see the Megazord side by side. As you can definitely tell, the Japanese one is a little bit chunkier, and I did a little bit of twist things to show that you can do more things with these connection pegs. The American one is definitely skinnier, but those connection pegs can be a hazard after playing with this for a little bit. So be aware of that. But we'll see you guys back up at FaceTime. How awesome was that, guys? Both toys are amazing, really. Between the paint jobs, the gimmicks, everything has their own little flaws. I mean, in some ways, some of the things on the Japanese toys are a little too clunky, and on the American one, the connection points are honestly a little too good. You do run a risk of possibly breaking a connector. I would have liked to have seen those a little bit thicker, maybe not so open up, but I understand having to shave weight. Now, every single one of them has awesome points and takeaways, but that's the key about this hobby. Now, if you're going to ask me which one I would go out and buy again today, for me, in my preference, I would choose the Japanese version. It hits all my marks in where I like them. That's not to say the American toy isn't great. It is great. Now, for the price point, if you can't afford Japanese, definitely get the American one. It's still worth it. Or if you can afford both, get both and support both production companies. I think Hasbro's done a great job with their taking care of the brand and the toys they're putting out. Some people don't agree with that. But at the end of the day, that's what this hobby's about. Let's all come together, let's enjoy what we like, and just have fun. And again, this is Sparta Green Ranger and Sparta Green Ranger Reviews. Make sure you've liked, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell for when I post my next video. And we'll see you in the next one. May the power protect you, and have fun playing.